One of my most favorite experiences with old school RuneScape is the ability to create an Ironman, which is a mode where you can't really trade with other players and rely on other players to get items and resources. However, when you start off as an Ironman, you're not really at a point where you can consider yourself as self-sufficient, and therefore early game Ironman is a lot more difficult to play than end game Ironman. And for the longest time, I've wanted to create a series that will show you what steps you need to take in order to get started as an Ironman, what your short-term and long-term goals should look like, and what things you should be focusing on and prioritizing first versus other things. And so without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to my Rookie Ironman Guide, the Test Series, Episode 1. In order to create an Ironman, you gotta create a brand new account and go through Tutorial Island. And at the end of Tutorial Island, you talk to Paul right before the wizard and you select your Ironman mode. That way, when you go into the mainland, you'll start off as an Ironman and you can start your adventure from there. When you spawn into RuneScape, you're going to be overwhelmed almost immediately with things that you want to do and things that you have to do, and you do not know where to get started. However, there is only one clear thing that you should be focusing on almost immediately, and that is quests. Quests are the things that are going to unlock content for your Ironman. For example, the Dragon Scimitar and the Barrow's Gloves. And we'll go on to that a little later in my personal recommendation with those. Quests are amazing because of how your level scales work. 5,000 experience in farming when you're a lower level such as level 10 is going to be worth so much more than 5,000 XP in farming when you're somewhere around the 50s and 60 ranges. And one of the most commonly known secrets of early Ironman is to do these quests that give you high XP rewards in order to get your low skill levels into ranges where they're actually trainable. For example, you can actually do the Varrock Museum mini quest, which will give you 1000 Slayer XP almost immediately, and I have the link for you in the descriptions of this video just to get a guide for that. And that will let you bypass practically the first 10 levels of Slayer, which means that now you can get tasks that require level 10 Slayer. And a good way to scout for these XPs is to go to the RuneScape wiki, which actually has a page that shows all of the XP rewards per quest. And again, the link for that will be in the description, so go ahead and browse through that. And this goes to show how big of an asset the old school RuneScape wiki actually is. And I for one have abused the hell out of this website just to assist me in tracking the progress for my Ironman and kind of figuring out different drop rates. And this leads me towards my first recommendation of what you should be focusing on as an Ironman, and that is to complete the quest Recipe for Disaster, which in itself will require you to have 175 quest points in order to complete, and a bunch of these skills. And these are great starting points for every single Iron, and this is what I recommend every single Iron to start working on. And you don't want to forget that the quests required to complete Recipe for Disaster will also have their own quest and item requirements. So it's always worth looking into just so you can finally finish that quest and get access to these wonderful gloves. One of the quests that I would highly recommend you also do early on is Underground Pass, and this is also one of the quest requirements for Recipe for Disaster. And the reason why you want to do this quest early is because it'll give you an item called Iban's Staff, which is your highest hitting mage spell for level 50 magic. And it could be recharged infinitely for free, and in addition to that, you can pay 250k for a one-time fee to turn it into an Iban's Staff U, which will give you 2,500 charges to use in PVM. And if you'd like to know a way to make money as an Ironman, I had one test video that I uploaded about a year ago called Episode 0, so you can check that out. Link will be on the top right corner of this video.